Alright, welcome back. This is our next step in our voyage in the Journeyman Project 3 Legacy of Time, and we are ready to begin Atlantis. So, we have arrived on the roof of the...
What an incredible city! Quite a difference from the aquarium we saw on our last visit. Judging from the caldera crescent shape of this island, I would gather that it was once an active volcano. If Agent 3 was right, and this really was Atlantis, then it surpassed even the most fantastic legends of its existence.
What he said. We're more or less where we left from the last time we went here before it was destroyed. Or after it was destroyed. Now we're here before it was destroyed. Oh god, time travel. On top of one of the windmills. So that's the central temple, I believe.
Look to the center of the city. That's the intact temple that the Sorolans obliterated into flaky temple dandruff. The layout of the city seems to radiate around it, as if it dominated every aspect of their culture. Sounds like a good place to start.
Indeed. Tricky bit is how to get there. Alright, the sort of plowed fields or terraces on the hillside there. That's kind of neat.
The inhabitants of the city were ingenious. See the series of concentric seawalls? It looks like they built a canal and a lock system to control the water level within the city. They've drained out the crater to expose more usable land. But if they're reclaiming land, why did they keep the water level high in the center?
Well, that is a temple, and there's an old joke in archaeology, is that if you don't know what it does, then it's probably ceremonial. So, we want to get down from here. Logical place is the same way we got up the last time. There we go. So, let's see, is there some nice cogs here we can pick up? Put those in the inventory. And then, might as well go down here. Doesn't look too different from the last time we visited, apart from, the walls being intact.
Whoa, stop gauge! That must be the keeper of the windmill. Since you don't have any Atlantean guises in your chameleon database, it might be wise to meet him later. Let's find another way around.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, well, and unfortunately I can't get close enough to capture his image, but I think we've seen this before. It's crossed out if you can't go somewhere without, freaking someone out, because I'm doing the bionic turtle thing again. But, okay, back we go. And there we go. A lot of attention paid to the Foley, I think is the term in this game. Getting all the sounds right of people moving around. Okay, well, what have we here?
Okay, our mission is to find this legacy, right? Let's start making our way toward that central temple. Since the windmill keeper is down below, our exit options are limited, but I'm sure you'll come up with something.
Alright, so I want to try something, because I did a dry run of this earlier, and one of the light bulb over Arthur kind of explained something that he said he'd noticed. I want to see if I can notice it for myself, because I honestly do not know offhand. Besides which, it's kind of nice to just be up here for the benefit of enjoying the view, because as low res as it is, I do really like the environment. I would say that the environment design in the Atlantis level might be my favorite in the game. I like these little parks here. Love the buildings, this sort of almost Venetian / Minas Tirith thing it's got going on.
Did you notice that one of the sails on this windmill is missing? Well, I did, and I deserve a cookie.
All right, so yeah, he'll explain that in downstairs in the control room or whatever it was. That one of the sails that revolves on this keep calling it a windmill. I feel like pumping station might be a better name for it, but whatever. And it is torn, and that may provide us with an opportunity. So if I go over here, there we go. So theoretically, I presume this is the control, but it's missing something kind of critical. Well, this is kind of funny as the inventory puzzles go, because these cogs had to move like 5 feet to perform their function, but let's try it and see what happens.
A few more turns, Gage. Heave! Put her back into Atlantis.
Alright. That creaking is like a classic ribbon sound effect. Okay. Alright, so those, yeah, I'm still getting the intact sails here. I don't know what I'm... Still kind of ridiculous the number of times you have to turn this, but there we go, that's what I wanted. Okay, so without the sail in the way, I guess, I can climb out here, and now, well, just a sheer drop from this position, but if I do this... Yeehaw! Oh my god. Oh, I see. So, like, now I can hop off onto the upper wall because the water level's higher in the middle. Yeah. Now I get it. Okay. I love these walls. It's a weird thing to say, but these walls are actually just really cool looking.
The first description of Atlantis in literature was from Plato in a series of discussions from his works Timaeus and Critias. According to Plato, Atlantis was a utopia that existed somewhere in the Western Ocean. It was never known whether Plato was actually describing the fabled lost continent or fabricating an elaborate concept to help prove an argument, as he was known to do.
Yeah, going on a limb here, I'm pretty sure it's the second one. So, okay, my way down is, I guess, via this crane? It took me a while to figure out what this thing was, because I thought it was a mast like that is, but this is actually a crane of sorts. Oh god. Good thing I don't have to do this in real life, because I would not do a good job of it. Alright, quick look around, and then... Oh, that looks familiar.
The writings on the sail on the back of that docked boat tell me it's Egyptian. Let's see, I think it reads, "My other ship is a barge?"
Yeah, somehow I doubt it. So, there's a hint I came across when I was doing my dry run that there's more than one way to get down from here, but the way I end up doing it, unfortunately I always lose track of where exactly, is to hop off the crane onto this thing's mast. The trick is figuring out exactly where to do that, because the point where it offers you the chance to move forward is really, really small. Or, there we go. Now we got it. It's kind of non-intuitive because I want to move along, not down, and I have to point down. But that's okay. Alright. I question this thing's ability to hold my weight with this big suit on.
Remember, don't look down. I told you not to look down. Now you better use the umbrella.
Yeah, right. Alright, well, luckily, this cord's got lots of hand loops in it, so down we go.
Avast, ye landlubbers. Ye face Arthur the Terrible and Blackwood the mildly terrible but still righteous mom. Strike ye colours and prepare to be forwarded.
Don't mind me, I'm feeling particularly naughty today.
Alright, enough.
Fluffy, what kind of cruise ship is this? No skipper, no Marianne, no professor? Probably no shuffleboard or holes in the hull. I'm leaving.
I think that's a Jimmy Stewart joke, but I honestly can't tell.
Look at that cloth. This ship must have been hauling silk, among other cargo. Silk!
How exquisite! Even though you're more of a summer, I think it would complement your jumpsuit perfectly.
Right. Well, I don't know if it'd complement my jumpsuit, but what it would do is provide me with the way into Shangri-La. So that guard monk in Shangri-La wasn't exaggerating when he said I'd have to look far and wide. But anyway, I'll just nip that. Although certainly not this far back, whether there was a silk trade in ancient Egypt. But oh, hello. And another thing we needed in Shangri-La was something long and hooked. Well, there you go. So, I'll just...
Sorry, Gage, but you can't go any further. There's a native just out of sight ahead. You're going to have to assume a chameleon guise before you can go that way.
Clearly. Alright, well, other way I can go is hop off. And... I don't know. Oh.
Coins for a blind beggar.
Oh, good. Well, if he's a blind beggar, that helps.
Coins for a blind beggar.
Alright, well, I definitely don't have any coins. I'm not sure what I'd sound like with this suit on, or what Arthur would sound like, so I've taken that guy's guise of the blind beggar, so I'll pretend to be him.
Blind beggar.
And, oof, hop aboard. Now I can talk to whoever it is that's up here. That's nice, I like that. There he is, and it took me a while to register this, but he's actually shackled in place. There's the very low-resolution chain there. So, okay, I'll take his appearance and then talk to him.
Yes!
Alright, well, might as well go with the character.
A few coins for a blind old beggar?
Right.
All right. Right, coins. Is there not something you wish to say?
I guess.
Oh, yes, of course. Where are my manners? Thank you, friend. No, that's not... That is to say... I fear you are not whom I was expecting.
Huh.
I must go now. Very well, then. He's a cagey fellow, but I guess being locked up will do that. Still, he seems to be waiting for someone in particular.
Yeah, the first time I played this, I didn't really register that he was locked up until Arthur said that. Anyway, so clearly not getting anywhere with him, but...
Captain's log, star date 1262 BC. On a routine expedition, we stumbled upon a strange Atlantean vessel with no crew. I'm hoping to rescue a naive alien mermaid shackled within the brig of this ship.
Oh, brother. I don't know if that joke would make the slightest bit of sense to most people anymore, but if you were, you know, I guess the right age to be a game developer in the 90s. Anyway. Alright, so now I have another shape. I'm going to talk to and some coins, for that matter. Maybe I can grease this guy's palm.
A few coins for a blind old beggar.
Apparently the Egyptian bloke gave us a lot of coins, because I can give coins, and I'm going to have to give coins a lot in this game, in this level, and never run out.
Thank you, friend. Looks like nasty weather.
Nasty weather? That's strange. Even a cautious weatherman would tell you that today is a parasailing day.
Okay. Well, just to be polite.
It would seem so, yes.
Well then, perhaps you had better move indoors. You would not want to be caught in the rain.
Okay. That was weird. Yeah, so... Isn't that interesting? Well, anyway, let's, that's about as far as we're getting with either of those guys.
Those large earthenware containers strewn about the docks are called pithoi. Bronze Age Mediterranean cultures used them to hold liquids like oil and wine. When full, they would be incredibly heavy, which is why I assume they have the loading crane. And when you need a crane to unload your booze, it's time to admit you have a problem.
Oh, come on. I'd love to get wine in that kind of quantity.
I'm fairly certain that the docked ship is of Egyptian make. What would it be doing here, so far from home?
I was going to say, what gave it away? Anyway, someone's playing the recorder badly. Oh, and I've just captured his image. Not that, although it occurs to me, I don't know if I've ever heard anyone play the recorder well, except maybe the Friendly Giant. But, anyway. So what's this guy's deal? He's standing next to this boat. Next to this boat. Let's have a word with him.
Oh, where can I take you?
Oh, so he's like a taxi cab sort of a thing. Well, logical place to ask to go would be the temple, because that's where we keep saying we want to go, so...
The temple.
That will be 10 dromoi.
Wait, with the overacting. Okay, well, nevertheless, fair enough. There you are. He's friendly, I'll give him that for nothing.
I am Kashani, but everyone calls me Kasha. You must be the captain of the boat they captured just this morning. I know how you feel. I am a victim too. The Atlanteans captured anyone that passes by. Now the Atlanteans have kept their city secret for over 1,000 years. Whenever a ship passes too close, they capture it and they force the crew to live here as second-class citizens. No one is allowed to leave. The rules are very strict. Okay, this is it. Hey, have a good day now.
Alrighty, so he'll be over there, I'll leave him be. Oh, this is nice. Anyway, I love the decoration, like the sort of wave pattern around the edge of his boat, too. Whoa.
The double axe was the holiest symbol to the Minoans. Religious axes were used by priests to kill sacrificial bulls for their beloved earth goddess.
That's presuming we know a lot more about the Minoans than we actually do. That's not to say that there isn't something to that. God, those are big doors. Alright. Oh. Here's the guy we talked to. Take his image for later, but for now.
No second-class citizens in the temple.
I mean, you have to give them credit for honesty. At least they just flat out call them second-class citizens. That's more than anyone nowadays can be honest enough to do. Well, anyway,
So why aren't second-class citizens allowed in?
By decree of the Templars.
which is not incidentally anything to do with the Knights Templar. I mean, if nothing else, we're like 2,000 years too early. All right.
Who is allowed into the temple?
Only native Atlantean citizens making deliveries or possessing a gold temple medallion may enter.
Okay. What sorts of deliveries?
What kind of things get delivered to the temple?
Anything the Templars have need of. Today, deliveries are expected from the olive oil and potter shops.
Fair enough. All right, what about this medallion idea?
What medallion?
A gold medallion bearing the seal of the temple. How do you expect to gain entry without one?
I feel like this guy is pretty bored and or lonely that he feels like having this much of a conversation with me, but
Maybe we could go to the olive oil shop and see what kind of deliveries are going into the temple. There might be something there that could help us get by the guard.
Pretend to be the delivery man, maybe?
Well, then it would seem that I'm not going to the temple.
Good day.
So yeah, thanks for figuring that out. That guy's attitude kind of amuses me.
He barred you from entering because you were a second-class citizen. Sounds like the city has set up some sort of rigid caste system. Maybe you could imitate the guise of another person a few rungs higher on the social ladder and find a way around the lock guard.
It's one of those select times when the hints are a little pointlessly on the nose. Right. Okay. Well, that's about as far as we're getting, so let's go somewhere else.
Oh, so, where are we off to this time?
He's having a good day. Alright, Windmill. Try that.
The Windmill.
That'll be 10 dramois.
Boy, with the overacting. Alright, here you go. Fair enough.
Do not lose hope, huh? You are not alone. Many of the non-natives refuse to live as captives. They have formed an underground resistance group and are planning to escape the island. Last I heard, they were almost ready. They will probably contact you soon if they have not already. Hey, do not tell anyone what I have told you.
That is the worst job of keeping a secret I've ever heard.
All right, we've arrived. Thank you for your business, eh?
Oh boy, he's terrible at keeping secrets. Okay. Although I suppose a boat on the middle of a canal is probably as good a place to have a down-low conversation as any. Alright, so we couldn't get into the downstairs of the windmill before, but now that we can, let's see what we can do.
Interesting. The beehive architecture of this windmill reflects the style used by the Mycenaeans in constructing tombs. It's quite a departure from the simple post and lintel construction they and the Minoans used for most of their architecture.
That, as far as I know, is accurate. Although I think the Mycenaean beehive tombs are kind of shorter and fatter than this thing. But, fair enough. Another nice view of the town.
Although Atlantis is often thought of as a Greek civilization, there were many anthropologists who believed that Atlantis actually was derived from the Minoan civilization. Judging by their architecture, I think their guess was right.
There's something in that. I mean, for one thing, I think it was very imaginative of the game developers to make it Minoan style, and not an idealized classical Greek city, which is what you normally get in depictions of Atlantis. The crystal spires and togas kind of a thing. The other interesting thing is that, and Arthur kind of alluded to this earlier when he said that the city's built in an old volcanic caldera, because the Minoan civilization's destruction had to do with the eruption of Santorini, which is now a former volcano that's a huge bay. I've been there, and that's exactly what it looks like. Beyond that, and that eruption may have caused the collapse of the Minoan civilization and may in turn have inspired the story of Atlantis. So that was cleverly done, I thought. Anyway.
I hate to make aesthetic criticisms in other people's homes, but this rug looks like a beaver exploded.
Yeah, there are, literally, this thought bubble when you're looking down here is just one joke after another about that rug. It just goes on forever. It's ridiculous. Some of them are actually pretty funny, though. So, in the name of shameless poking around, well, that's Jules of the Oracle for you. Alright, well, what have we here? A diagram. It's written in Egyptian.
These are interesting schematics. They seem to be detailing some hidden passageway.
That much is clear. And written in Egyptian, not in whatever the Atlantean script looks like. So, about an important point maybe for later. Anyway, let's stop rifling this through somebody's stuff. And here's the keeper, so capture his image and then talk to him.
Looks like a nasty weather.
Huh.
Methinks our friend doth forecast too much. It sounds like he's more interested in how we respond to his weather prediction than about the weather itself. Gage, he said it looks like nasty weather too. Unless the neighborhood calls the same psychic weather advisor, something definitely smells fishy in Atlantis. And it's not the tide.
Indeed no. Alright. Well, for giggles, let's say.
Why does everyone keep saying that? It looks nice enough to me.
Perhaps, but the windmill keeper must be prepared for the worst.
Fair point.
Well, when in Atlantis, do as the Atlanteans do, I suppose. And just for kicks, I'll add looks like nasty weather to your dialogue repertoire as a greeting.
Well, and as he says, he seems more interested in your response than the actual topic, which probably means that we're dealing with a sign-countersign idea here. So far, all the places we've been, of all the people who have been acting cagey, which is to say the captain on the boat, the beggar, and that guy, the only one that hasn't said the phrase "looks like nasty weather" is the guy I'm currently pretending to be. So if I try it on, maybe I'll try it on him and see what happens. But now, this is one of the aspects of the design that I think is kind of ridiculous, because now I have to ask this chap over here, Kasha, did he say his name was, to give me a lift to the dock. The dock's right here. Like, I could just about climb over this rock to get there, probably. But, anyway, whatever. Just weird aspect of the level design, but whatever. These could just easily have been one location, I would have thought. Anyhow.
So where shall I take you now, huh?
This guy's getting a lot of business out of me.
The dock.
That will be 10 dromoi, please.
Right. There you go.
You know, in Nubia, we lived on the Great Nile, and we had a saying: the river floods so that life may begin anew. Because sometimes life has a plan all its own, and there's nothing you can do. So you might as well make the best of it. Besides, life is not so bad here. Most of the people are friendly. I have a roof over my head and food on the table. The resistance offered me a chance to leave. I decided to stay. No, this is my home now. Here it is. Take care of now, huh?
Okay. That's the one thing about this game and this level in particular that really grinds my gears is that whole spiel he just went on about being content to be a second-class citizen. It's so much the happiness in slavery trope, especially considering the actor's African American, I'm guessing. It's just so, it's just Song of the South garbage. Anyway, I just thought that was a really stupid call for the writers to make. But anyway, whatever. There's not much we can do about it now. So, I guess I better change shape. As a matter of interest, don't forget that you can have some interesting experiences trying to approach the same character as different people. I didn't bother doing it earlier, but if you come to the Windmill Keeper as somebody else like the Beggar, you get some very different and very interesting reactions that kind of play into the mystery, but didn't want to draw this out too much. So anyway, let's try that trick again and see what happens.
What now? Looks like nasty weather.
Yes. It may even rain. So you are my contact then. Were it not for these bombs, I would have been able to meet you as planned. But I have spoken to a member of my crew. He will be coming to free me later. Once I am released, I will seek you out.
I think I'm starting to pierce through the dark storm clouds of deceit. It looks like we stumbled upon an arranged meeting between the captain and the beggar. They're using code words to communicate. I'll add the bit about it may even rain to your dialogue choices.
Alright, so apparently what we've done is broken into that underground resistance network that the ferryman tipped us off to. Alright, well that's about all we can say to him right now.
I must go now.
Very well then.
We can say the contact has been made. Sort of. So now we've got the other half of the sign countersign. So if we flip the script, so to speak, and I keep losing track of where exactly I have to be standing to hop off this boat. There we go. And try having a word with the other guy who said looks like nasty weather. Now we know how to open him up. So there he is. Now we can get both halves of the story, which is going to confuse the hell out of them when they get to talking to each other, but anyway.
A few coins for a blind old beggar.
Well, for the look of the
Thank
thing.
you, friend. Looks like nasty weather.
Yes, it may even rain.
Ah, good. I am glad to see that they finally let you off the ship. My name is Padros the Atlantean. Let me start by saying that I make no excuses for my people. They have no right to treat you this way. I wanted to meet with you to give you a chance to escape this prison island. There is an underground network of captives who are willing to risk their lives for a chance to return to their homelands. I have been meeting with them to organize an escape. With my knowledge of the island's inner workings, we have come up with a solid plan. We leave tomorrow, and we would like you to join us.
Well, I don't know the logic under which they lay out all of these dialogue options, because I feel like the first one under these circumstances I'd want to ask would be that.
Why should I trust you?
It is true. You have no reason to trust me. All I can tell you is that this may be your one and only chance to escape. If you do not take advantage of it, you may very well regret that decision for the rest of your life.
It's a fair point, though, as he himself said he is himself an Atlantean, although having said that, he doesn't look like he's even a third-class citizen, all things considered. All right, what about this prison remark?
Why do you call this a prison island?
Yours is not the first ship to be captured by the Atlantean fleet. The people of Atlantis go to such lengths to ensure that their private utopia remains unspoiled by invaders or trade. But what makes it a utopia for native Atlanteans makes it a prison for the second-class citizens. No one is allowed to leave. You will never see your homeland or your family again. Nor will you be granted temple rights.
Which in those days would probably be kind of a big deal. But I do think that's kind of an interesting take on the concept of Atlantis, because most concepts of Atlantis in pop culture, Disney, the Disney movie and that sort of thing, always tend to depict Atlantis as some kind of great globe-spanning empire or something. It's kind of an interesting twist to have it be more like a kind of secret society sort of a thing. That's interesting. Anyway, what's the plan?
So, what's your plan?
Your skills were impressed upon me by a fellow countryman of yours, Amun the Egyptian. He will give you the details of the plan, and you can find him at the windmill nearest to us. When he asks about the weather, tell him it is going to be a long winter.
I don't know. It sounds pretty risky. What if we're caught?
Death will most certainly be the punishment for this crime. But even death is preferable to living as a prisoner.
Suppose that's fair.
I'll go now.
All right. So looks like we've got what we need to take the next step in this investigation. So we have to do one more hop back over to the windmill. Well, one more in the short term. Again, this is kind of the frustrating back and forth. It's not so bad when you actually feel like you're going somewhere, but like I keep saying, the windmill is literally right up there. So I just find it slightly aggravating. But anyway. Alright. Just for giggles, I'm going to turn into somebody else. So.
Oh, where can I take you?
Okay, so back to the windmill.
The windmill.
That will be 10 dromoi.
Oh, yep, there you go.
Okay, then now. Be careful getting out of the boat.
Undoubtedly. I've been to Venice, but I never went on a gondola ride. I don't know what those are like. So.
Ingenious. They erected a system of these windmills, actually wind pumps, to pump water out of the island. They probably use them now to keep the water levels consistent and to replace water they lose every time they use a lock.
Alrighty. So, oh yeah, I see what he means. Okay, well, I better not turn into that guy, so turn back into the Egyptian captain, because apparently these guys are countrymen. Now we have the countersign, so...
Still looks like nasty weather.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, it looks like it's going to be a long winter.
Ah, good. Then the beggar has convinced you to join us, Ahmed. How long has it been? 10 years? 12? It is good to see you again, old friend. Well, now you see that my ship was not lost at sea. Surely everyone must think that. But soon, I will be able to tell them the truth myself.
I don't know, I think it's kind of funny that my character, the person I'm pretending to be right now, is apparently named Ahmed, which is an Arabic name. I mean, you'd find that in modern Egypt, but there is a name, an ancient Egyptian name, Ahmose, or Ahmoza, depending on who you ask. But I don't know, I just think that's funny for some reason. Again, like I said with the El Dorado segment, I checked the credits and like I'm sure most of these guys are mostly American citizens, but I think this game is made in the States or maybe in Canada. But if you check, these guys, the actors in Atlantis all have Middle Eastern or sort of how do I say it? Southern European, Mediterranean surnames, Italian, for example. So but I think this guy is probably doing like a generic Middle Eastern-ish sounding accent. It doesn't quite ring true. I mean, I've been to Egypt, but I couldn't necessarily recount how everyone's accent sounded from memory. But it's not terrible, but it doesn't quite ring true. Well, anyway, let's not keep him standing here. So. Let's start with this one.
Who is the beggar?
He goes by the name Padros. He is an outcast Atlantean Templar. Many years ago, while only an initiate, he was blinded and expelled from the Order simply because he expressed disagreement with their holding of the Gaelith's powers. His harsh punishment was a message to other initiates who felt as he did. Do not worry that Padros is an Atlantean. He is a good man who believes in our cause.
He's doing an impression of Ahmed Jalili, but I don't know that Ahmed Jalili was a known name back then. Anyway, so I don't know. I didn't catch what he said. The Whatlith power?
What's the Gaelith?
The Gaelith is the Atlanteans' most important religious artifact. They foolishly believe it has life-giving powers. So strong is their belief that they keep it hidden from covetous eyes within the inner temple. It is always protected by a guardian Templar.
What's a Templar?
I have never forsaken our beliefs for their religious nonsense, but I do know that the Templars are to the Atlanteans as the High Priests are to us.
Which is why it strikes me as funny that he's so skeptical and dismissive, considering that, he's saying that, the Gaelith has ridiculous, life-giving powers, like he thinks that's ridiculous, and I'm just like, you think the same thing about the statues of gods in inner temples in Egypt. Whatever.
There were other initiates who agreed with Padros?
Yes, his best friend Saros finished Templar training and passed the rite of initiation, even though he secretly agreed with Padros. They have not spoken since.
Yeesh.
What is the final rite of initiation?
More nonsense. They say the initiates must commune with the Gaelith and ask its blessing to become a guardian Templar. Supposedly, if they are worthy, the Gaelith grants them eternal life.
Oh, what a thought. Actually, admittedly, even 3,000 years ago, that's a bit of a stretch. Anyway, how did you get here?
How did you end up here?
In the same manner as you. My ship was captured while on a trading voyage. They brought me back here and haven't allowed me to set foot on the ship since. I had no choice but to find work on the island. Me, a man of the sea, forced to take work as a windmill keeper. Oh, but none of that matters now.
Alright. What's the plan?
So, what's the escape plan?
The plan is to escape the island while everyone is celebrating the Caras Calera. But what's more, Padros and I have uncovered a secret passage to the inner temple. Tomorrow, I will escort Padros through the passage to rescue his old friend Saros and escape with the Galeth. After, we will meet at the outer docks, board 3 ships, and sail away undetected.
Okay,
There's an inner temple? Well, where is it, and what's your secret passage?
The inner temple lies below the main temple at the bottom of the bay. Always seawater pours down into the inner temple, powering a clockwork device. That water drains out through a pipe that passes beneath this windmill. I've broken into the pipe, and it's large enough to crawl through.
Why is the plan set for tomorrow?
Because forever water flows through the pipe, except during the Caras Calera. They claim the stream is redirected by their Earth Mother. Something about lifting the Galeth in a column of water. Whatever the reason, the channel runs dry for just 1 hour on that day.
okay then. Alright, rescue this Saros bloke.
What do you mean, rescue Saros?
The sword falls swiftly upon Templars who seek to abandon the Order. Even straying from the grounds is not permitted. Now we've gotten word of our plan to Guardian Templar Saros. He has agreed to allow Padros access to the Galeth in return for helping him escape the watchful eyes of his brethren.
This is one thing I'm struggling with, is I'm not entirely clear why they want to steal the Galeth. Just like, unless it's just to put a finger in the eye of the Atlanteans or something, but maybe Saros has a reason for stealing it. We'll have to see later, but anyway.
What is the Kalos Kalire?
I do not know much about it, only that it is a rare event. I would suggest you ask the olive oil vendor. She is always willing to spread the tainted seed of their foolish beliefs.
Then why do you want me to ask her? This guy really overacts being dismissive and conspiratorial all at the same time.
So, what do you want of me?
We request only that you pilot one of the escape ships.
Oh. Well, that was anticlimactic. Okay, I think we got the whole story here. All this talk of Templars and eternal life, there's a Da Vinci Code joke in here somewhere, except for the fact that Da Vinci won't be born for another 2,500 years.
I'll speak to you later, my friend.
Please. I must go up to fix the windmill, but you are welcome to stay if you like.
Ah, right. I forgot he leaves at this point. Alright, the music's on, so implies we can do something. So this actually really is, like Arthur said, a wind pump, not a windmill, because there's no sign they're making flour in here. So this is an interesting point. Where do they get grain? Maybe they don't. Oh, I guess we saw those terrace farms on the land part of the city. Alrighty, so what have we got here? There's something we can pick up here, but oh, that's interesting. We can't put the rope in our inventory. We can just pick up one end of it. Suddenly it looks like it's been drawn in Microsoft Paint. Well, let's have a look here. This is... Oh, I see. It's like the braking system for the windmill sails up top. They're probably scared the hell out of that gentleman just now. Anyway, but there's probably something else we can do with it. If you look at that diagram we found in the chest over there earlier, if we take this, looks like it was drawn in MS Paint, and it lights up when we hold it up here. So, oh, I get it. Yeah, it's like we're winding it around. This, it gets shorter and opens this presumably very, very, very heavy thing. Aha. Okay, that would be that water pipeline that he was mentioning.
Well, Amun did say the water only stops on the Kalos Kalire. So if this is the only way we can get to the inner temple, we're going to have to find some way to stop the flow.
Yes. So we want to get in there first. Presumably we need to stop the water flow slightly ahead of schedule. Alright, so I think that's all we're getting out of being in there. So what are we left with? So now we're in on the plan to steal the Galeth, which is this thing that supposedly confers eternal life, and is in all probability the thing we're looking for. So, now, if we need to do that, we need to get into the temple, but we can't get into the temple that way without turning the water off, and presumably we can only turn the water off from within the temple, so round and round we go. And we've already tried to get into the temple once and found out what you need to legitimately get in there. Is either the medallion or the, I don't know, passport medallion, I guess you might call it, or deliveries, and he's expecting them from the olive oil and the potter's shop, is what the guard said. So all of that taken together, I think we've gone about as far as we can with the sites we've visited so far, the dock, the temple itself, and the windmill pump thingy. So we should try out the sites, the olive oil and potter's shops that we haven't been to yet. I'm going to pause here, just because otherwise I've learned from the El Dorado recordings how long this is going to go on if I don't, and we'll pick that up after a break.